for a very long time, the right and the Republican Party, Republican politicians demonized gay Americans. And I wonder if they feel like that's a little bit harder to get away with now, but that maybe they can sort of get away with it by just moving to the trans community, that they're a little bit less protected, a little bit less accepted. So we can do all of the same stuff about these people are coming for your kids and all of that stuff and maybe get away with it. Does that seem maybe accurate, or do you think there's something deeper there?
I think that's accurate. And again, it just shows you how low they'll stoop, because trans folks, trans folks are already marginalized in our society. So to paint them out like they're this big bad villain, it just goes to show that these people are bullies. I completely agree that we had a culture shift around gay folks in this country and queer folks in this country. I think that shift has been slower to impact the trans community, much slower than I would like, and I think that people who are out there to demonize folks like the trans community see that, and they think, oh, maybe I can use them to scapegoat them, to distract from the fact that I have nothing to offer people in terms of actual substance and governing.
Actually, I want to talk about part of the fact that the trans community in particular is not thought of in the same way, given the same consideration. We've been talking about Marjorie Green and her transphobia, and so there was this interaction that she had about a week ago with Representative Marie Newman, where Marie Newman put up the trans flag, and then Marjorie Green put up a sign attacking either the entire trans community, or maybe just in particular Marie Newman's trans daughter. It's not entirely clear, maybe both. And I believe it was Facebook took down the flag, but not this sign. They say that this was just an accident, but what would you like to see done in regards to social media accountability in the area of transphobic attacks like this?
I mean, I think Facebook can say this was just a mistake all they want. It's been very clear. Facebook has a really long documented history of amplifying, spreading, and protecting, in the case of Alex Jones, this kind of content. Hate speech, transphobic content, conspiracy theories, disinformation that is based in people's identity, attacks on who people are. Facebook has a documented history of amplifying and protecting this kind of content. So they can say this was a mistake. I absolutely do not believe it was a mistake, because they have this history. And I would like to see some real accountability at Facebook. For so long, all we hear from Facebook is excuses. They blame content moderators, they blame this, they blame that. When do we actually get accountability? If I was this bad at doing my job, you know I would be fired, right? So I want real accountability, not excuses.
Yeah, I really appreciate you joining us, giving us your perspective on these topics. We've mentioned your podcast, There Are No Girls on the Internet. For people who might not be familiar with it yet, where can they listen to it, and what do you talk about on it?
Well, you can find us on the iHeartRadio network. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And really, it's the kind of conversations that you've raised today, the intersections of underrepresented identities like queer folks, Black folks, women, and the internet, and how we show up or do not show up in those spaces. So please check it out.
Bridget Todd, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.